The year was 2147. The war between humanity and the Galactic Concord had lasted 10 long years. The Concord was a big group of alien species. The strongest were the Vaxari, tall insect-like beings with hard shells and sharp claws, and the Lyrans, shining crystal creatures who could read minds. They had better ships, stronger weapons, and numbers that seemed endless. Earth's fleets fought hard. They used every trick they knew. But in the end, they lost too many ships. Too many people died. The leaders saw no way to win, so they asked for peace talks. The meeting happened on Zorath Prime, a neutral planet with purple skies and tall silver towers. The hall was huge, with bright lights and seats for thousands of alien watchers. Holoscreens sent the event to every corner of the galaxy. Admiral Jiho Kim walked in first. He was a tall man with short black hair and calm eyes. His uniform was clean but old, with marks from many battles. Next to him came Diplomat Ha-Un Park. She was smart and quiet, with long dark hair tied back. She carried the surrender papers in a simple metal case. The Vexari overlord Kazath stood at the front. He was very tall, almost 3 meters, with black armor that clicked when he moved. His many eyes glowed red. Beside him shimmered Lyran Seer Thalara. Her crystal body changed colors slowly, blue to green to gold. She looked like living light. Jiho and Ha-Un stopped at the table. The room was silent, except for the low hum of alien machines. Kazath spoke first. His voice was like dry leaves rubbing together. Humans, you come to bow. Your fight is over. Sign and live as our workers. Ha-Un looked up. Her voice was steady. We signed to stop the killing, not because we want to. Thalara's crystals flashed. Your thoughts are weak now. We see fear. We see broken dreams. Good. This is the end of your noise. Jiho took the pen. His hand did not shake. He read the words one more time. Earth would give up all weapons. All ships would be scrapped or given away. Human worlds would pay taxes to the Concord. Soldiers would go home, but under watch. No more fighting, ever. He signed. Ha-Un signed next. The holocamera zoomed in. The galaxy watched. Xath laughed. It was a sharp, ugly sound. The primitives are broken. Their fire is gone. Their worlds are ours now. Thalara spread her light. Humanity's spirit is out. Like a candle in wind. We win. The hall filled with cheers from aliens. Vexari clacked their claws. Lyrans glowed bright. Other species, scaled dracons, floating gas beings, joined in. On Earth, people watched. In Sol, crowds stood in big squares under giant screens. Rain fell, but no one moved. Faces were sad. Some cried. Children asked why. Parents had no good answer. In New Busan, workers stopped in factories. Machines kept running, but hands stayed still. Eyes fixed on the screens. Far away, on a mining outpost in the asteroid belt, Min Jae Lee sat in a small control room. He was young, with messy hair and tired eyes. He fixed machines for a living. Now he watched the broadcast alone, his fists closed tight. They think this is it, he whispered. Back on Zorath Prime, the ceremony ended. Aliens started victory parades outside. Vexari soldiers marched in lines. Their feet shook the ground. Lyran lights danced in the sky like fireworks. Jiho and Ha-Un were led away by guards. They walked down a long hall. No one spoke at first. Then Jiho looked at Ha-Un. You did well. She nodded. It was hard, but we had to. They reached a small room. Guards locked the door. It was not a prison cell, but close. Soft beds, food, screens to watch news. House arrest, the aliens called it. Jiho sat down. He looked out a window at the purple sky. They celebrate loud. Good. Ha-Un sat too. What now? Jiho smiled a little. It was small, but real. Now we wait. They think we gave up everything, but we didn't. On Earth, the news kept playing. Alien ships landed in cities. Vexari troops took control of government buildings. Lyrans set up mine-damp fields in public places. The fields made people feel calm. Too calm to get angry. But in hidden places, things were different. In underground rooms in Seoul, small groups met. They used old wires and hidden screens. No one spoke loud. In one room, Taewoo Choi watched with others. He was Jiho's old aide, strong and loyal. The admiral said to stay quiet, he told them. Let them think they won. A woman named Soo-min Kang typed fast on a small computer. She was good with codes. I sent the message. Everyone knows the plan. Min-jae, far in space, got the signal. He opened a secret box under his desk. Inside were parts for new tech. Old human designs, never used in the war. Back on Zorath Prime, Kazath hosted a big feast. Alien leaders drank strange drinks. They laughed about humans. Weak bodies, short lives, no match for us. Thalara joined. Their minds are open books now, nothing hidden. But on Earth, in a quiet house, Jiho's message reached Taewoo through a hidden line. Just 3 words. Patience, prepare, watch. Jiho sat in his room. He looked at the wall. No one could see his face now. He whispered to himself. They celebrated first. Outside, alien music played. Parades went on all night. But somewhere, in the dark, humans started to plan. The surrender looked real. The galaxy believed it. But humanity was not broken. They were waiting. The aliens did not wait long. Right after the surrender papers dried, their ships filled Earth's sky like dark clouds. Big Vexari transports landed in every major city. Seoul's streets shook as their heavy boots marched in. New Busan's ports filled with alien crates. Even the small towns saw patrols. The Vexari soldiers were tall and scary. Their black shells clicked when they walked. They carried long energy spears that hummed with power. They set up checkpoints on every road. No one could move far without papers. The Lyrans were different. They did not march. They floated. Their crystal bodies glowed soft blue. They placed tall poles in city squares. These poles sent out quiet waves. People called them mind-damp fields. If you stood too close, your thoughts felt slow. Anger became hard to hold. Plans felt fuzzy. Stay calm, the Lyran voices said through speakers. Work is good. Rest is good. Fight is gone. Machines that once made cars now made parts for Vexari ships. Mines that dug iron now dug rare crystals the Lyrans wanted. Farmers grew food, but most went to alien tables. In Seoul, Soo-min Kang walked to work every day. She wore a gray uniform. Her job was cleaning floors in a Vexari office tower. She pushed a mop and kept her head down. No one knew she once hacked enemy systems during the war. At night, in her small room, she pulled out a hidden tablet. It had no wires to the outside. She typed slow codes. Messages went out in tiny bursts. Phase 1 ready, she sent. Waiting for signal. Across the city, Taewoo Choi worked in a scrapyard. The aliens let humans recycle their own broken ships. Taewoo cut metal all day. His arms were strong, his eyes sharp. At breaks, he talked quiet with old soldiers. Keep the small parts, he said. Hide them well. They saved pieces of old human drives, old shield generators, old AI chips. The aliens thought it was junk. But Taewoo knew better. These pieces would become something new. Far out in the asteroid belt, Min-jae Lee still fixed machines on the mining post. The Vexari overseer watched him close. Work faster, human, the overseer clicked. Min-jae nodded and smiled small. Yes, sir. But at night, when the overseer slept, Min-jae opened his secret box. Inside were flat black discs. Each one was a stealth emitter. He tested one. It made no sound, no light. but it sent a pulse that could hide a ship from scans. He smiled wider. Soon, he whispered. On Earth, the aliens loved to show they won. Every night, big screens played victory shows. Clips of human ships exploding. Clips of admirals signing surrender. Clips of people bowing. Kazath, the Vexari overlord, appeared often. He stood on stages made from melted human armor. Look at your weak leaders, he said. Now they serve us. Thalara joined him sometimes. Her crystals shone bright. Their minds are quiet now. No more wild thoughts. No more dreams of freedom. We have ended the noise. The galaxy laughed with them. Other alien worlds held parties. They toasted to the fall of the loud apes. They made jokes. Humans thought they were special. Now they sweep floors. On captured luxury liners, Kazath held big feasts. Alien leaders ate rare meats and drank glowing drinks. They watched humans serve the food. Some humans wore forced smiles. Others looked empty. But not all. Ha-Un Park still lived in the old government house. The aliens called her a cooperation advisor. She met with Lyran overseers every week. She listened, she nodded, she gave small advice. They thought she was broken. But every time they left, she wrote notes on tiny paper. She hid them in book pages. A runner took them to Tewu. The notes listed guard shifts, weak points in shields, times when Lyran slept deepest. One day, Ha-Un met Jiho Kim in the garden. Guards watched from far. They spoke soft. They trust me more now, Ha-Un said. Jiho nodded. Good. Keep it that way. Jiho looked older. His hair had more gray, but his eyes stayed sharp. He walked slow on purpose. The aliens thought he was tired, weak. In truth, he exercised in his room at night. Push-ups, sit-ups. He read old strategy books. He thought about every battle he lost, and every one he could still win. They party every night, Jiho said. Let them. The louder they laugh, the less they listen. Ha-Un looked at the sky. Alien ships crossed like stars moving wrong. How long? Jiho answered quiet. Long enough. Not forever. Weeks turned to months. The mind-damp field stayed on. People felt heavy. Some forgot why they once fought. But in hidden corners, others remembered. In Seoul's old subway tunnels, small groups met. They used hand signals. No loud words. They shared food. They shared plans. Su-Min joined one group. She taught them how to build small jammers. Tiny devices that could block the damp fields for short times. Just enough to think clear. Use it only when safe, she said. Never show it. They nodded. In the asteroid belt, Min-jae finished his first full emitter. He hid it in a rock wall. When he tested it, his scanner went blind for 10 seconds. Perfect. A coded ping to Tewu. One word. Ready. Tewu read it on his hidden screen. He closed his eyes. For the first time in months, he let himself hope. The aliens kept celebrating. Kazath built a huge monument on Zorath Prime. It was made from the hulls of Earth's best battleships. At the top stood a statue of himself, claw raised high. They held a festival there. Lights flashed. Trillions watched on holo feeds. Humanity is silent, Kazath shouted. The crowd roared. Thalara added, their spark is gone, forever. But on Earth, in a dark basement, Su-Min looked at her tablet. A new message blinked. From Jiho. Keep going. They are blind. She smiled small. In the scrapyard, Tewu lifted a heavy plate. Under it, a new hybrid engine waited. Human design. Alien parts. Stronger than before. In his house arrest room, Jiho sat by the window. Alien fireworks lit the night. Cheers came from far. He watched. He waited. Then he spoke to the empty room. They celebrate loud. His voice was calm. But we are not done. Outside, the party went on. Inside, the quiet work continued. The galaxy thought humanity was finished. The galaxy was wrong. The first year after the surrender passed slow and heavy. The aliens grew comfortable. They thought the job was done. Vexari patrols walked lazy now. Lyran overseers spent more time in their crystal towers than watching humans. The mind-damp fields ran day and night. Most people felt dull, tired. They worked, ate, slept. Few asked questions anymore. But under the surface, humanity moved. Quiet, careful, like roots growing deep in dark soil. In hidden ocean bases off the Korean coast, teams worked without stop. These bases were old war projects, built deep underwater so no scans could find them. Now they hummed again. Lights stayed low. Voices stayed soft. One team leader was Dr. Jisoo Han. She was small but sharp. Her hands moved fast over screens. She led the work on Echo Pulse. The idea was simple but hard. Make a signal that could cut through alien shields and neural links. Not loud, not bright, just enough to break their toys without them knowing right away. Jisoo tested small pieces first. A tiny emitter in a water tank. It sent a pulse. The test crystal they stole from a Lyran outpost cracked slow. No explosion, just a thin line, then nothing. She smiled. Perfect, she said. They will feel nothing until it is too late. Farther out, in lunar craters, another group rebuilt engines. They took Vexari parts from scrap. They mixed them with old human designs. The new drives were ugly, wires everywhere, but they were fast and quiet. No big heat signature, no loud roar. Ships could hide in plain sight. Taewoo Choi led one of these teams. He wore thick gloves and a mask. Sparks flew as he welded. Faster response, he told his workers. We need them to jump when we say. They tested one engine in a sealed cave. It pushed a small test craft to speeds no alien ship could match in short bursts. Taewoo watched the numbers climb. His heart beat hard. This will change everything, he said. On Earth, in cities, the quiet work went on too. Sumin Kang still cleaned floors by day, but at night she met with 3 others in an old apartment basement. They built small jammers, tiny boxes no bigger than a hand. Each one could block a mind-damp field for 5 minutes. Enough time to think clear. Enough time to plan. They made 50 so far. Hid them in walls, under floors, in trash bins near checkpoints. Sumin marked maps on her tablet. Red dots showed where each jammer waited. We place more every week, she told the group. Never the same place twice. One night, a Vexari patrol walked close. Sumin froze. She hid the jammer under her coat. The soldier stopped, looked at her, clicked his mandibles. Move along, human. She bowed low. Yes, sir. He walked away. She breathed out slow, then kept working. Min Jae Lee stayed on his asteroid post. The Vexari overseer trusted him now. Thought he was broken. Min Jae smiled and fixed machines. But every week he added one more stealth emitter to the rock field. They looked like normal mining tools. Black, flat, silent. He linked them with thin wires buried in dust. When all connected, they made a net. A big blind spot in space. Ships could hide there, wait, strike. Min Jae tested the full net one dark shift. His scanner went dark for 30 seconds. Then came back. No alarm, no alert. He laughed quiet. They see nothing. He sent the update to Taewoo. One line. Net complete, ready for ships. Jiho Kim still lived under house arrest. His days looked the same. Walk in garden, read old books, eat simple food. Guards watched, but they watched less close now. He seemed old, tired, done. At night he met Ha-eun in the garden shadows. They spoke in whispers. She gave him lists, guard changes, ship arrivals, weak spots in the big command tower downtown. Jiho read them by small light, then burned the paper. Good work, he said. You play the broken one well. Ha-Un looked at him. It hurts sometimes, pretending. Ji-Ho put a hand on her shoulder. I know, but it buys us time. Time is our weapon now. He planned every day in his head, drew maps in dust, erased them before dawn. He knew where every hidden base was, every team, every piece. He connected them all like threads in a web. The aliens kept celebrating, bigger parties, louder music. Kazath built more monuments, one in New Busan, tall, made of old human tanks. He stood on top and shouted to crowds forced to watch. Your past is gone. Your future is ours. Thalara spoke on every screen. Their minds sleep. Their dreams die. We have peace at last. The galaxy believed it. News feeds showed happy aliens, happy workers, quiet humans. But the quiet was not surrender. It was focus. In the ocean base, Jisoo finished the first full Echo Pulse unit. Big. Needed 3 people to carry. She tested it on a captured Vexari drone. The drone froze. Its lights blinked once, then off. No damage, just stopped. Jisoo nodded. Scale it up. We need hundreds. On the moon, Taewoo launched the first hidden ship. Small, fast, painted black. It slipped out of the crater. No one saw. It flew to the asteroid belt. Met Min-jae's net. Hid inside. Safe. Min-jae welcomed the pilot with a nod. Welcome to the Shadow Fleet. The pilot grinned. Feels good to fly again. Months passed. More ships joined. More emitters, more jammers, more plans. Ji-Ho sent one final message through hidden lines. To every team. Short, clear. Anniversary nears. Be ready. 1 year exactly. We move. Sumin read it in her basement. She closed her eyes, then opened them. 1 year, she repeated. Then we answer. Taewoo read it in the lunar cave. He looked at his team. Time to stop hiding. They cheered soft. No loud sounds. Min-jae read it on his post. He touched the emitter net. Soon, he said to the dark rocks. Ji-Ho sat in his room. Window open. Alien lights crossed the sky. Music from far parties drifted in. He looked at the stars. They think we sleep, he said quiet. He smiled. Small, cold, real. But we wake soon. Outside, the galaxy laughed. Inside, humanity prepared. The web was almost done. The threads were tight. 1 more year. 1 more breath. Then the chuckle would come. The first anniversary of the surrender came like any other day at first. The sky over Zorath Prime stayed purple. The air smelled of alien flowers and metal. But today, the aliens made it special. They called it the Triumph of Concord. A galaxy-wide party. Every screen, every holofeed, every city square showed the same thing. The Grand Hall on Zorath Prime was packed. Thousands of aliens filled the seats. Vexari in polished armor. Lyrans glowing bright. Drakons with scaled tails flicking. Gas beings floating near the ceiling. Music played loud. Lights flashed in patterns that hurt human eyes. At the center stood a huge platform. On it sat Kazath and Thalara. Kazath wore a new crown made from melted human metals. Thalara's crystals shone gold and white. They looked like kings. Trillions watched from their homes. On Earth, people were forced to gather in squares. Vexari soldiers stood around them with spears ready. Watch and learn, the soldiers clicked. This is your new history. The broadcast started. Old clips played. Human ships burning. Cities falling. Ji-Ho signing the papers. Ha-Un's face calm but pale. The crowd cheered each time a human ship exploded. Kazath stood. His voice boomed through speakers. 1 year ago, the noisy apes bowed. Their fire died. Their worlds became ours. Today we celebrate the silence of humanity. He raised a tall goblet filled with glowing green liquid. To the end of their fight. To our endless rule. The hall roared. Claws clacked. Crystals rang like bells. Thalara floated higher. Her voice was smooth and cold. Their minds are quiet now. No more wild plans. No more dreams. We have brought true peace. More cheers. Louder. The sound shook the walls. Then something small happened. A light flickered. Just one bulb high in the ceiling. Most did not notice. Then another, and another. A single note hung too long. Kazath frowned. What is this? Thalara's crystals dimmed for a second. A power fault. Fix it. But it was not a fault. Far away, on Earth, in the deep ocean base, Jisoo Han pressed the final button. Echo Pulse woke up. Not loud, not bright, just a ripple through space. A signal no alien scanner was built to see. The ripple hit the first satellites, then the ground emitters hidden in mountains, under cities, in old mines. They answered back. Together they made a wave. The wave reached Zorath Prime. Every Lyran in the hall froze. Their crystals cracked. Thin lines like spiderwebs spread fast. Thalara gasped. Her light flickered wild. No, what is this? Vixari soldiers jerked. Their armor locked. Joints seized. Claws stuck open. They could not move. Mind-damp fields across 100 worlds shut off. People in city squares blinked. Thoughts came back sharp. Plans remembered. In Seoul, Su Min Kang stood in the crowd. The soldier next to her froze mid-step. She pulled the jammer from her coat. Turned it on. A soft buzz. 5 minutes of clear mind for everyone near her. She looked at the people around her. Now, she said quiet. They nodded, then moved. In the asteroid belt, Min Jae Lee watched his screens. The net lit up green. Hidden ships dropped out of cloak. Engines hummed low. Black hulls turned toward Vexari stations. Fire when ready, Min Jae said into his comm. Small bursts, precise, not big explosions, just enough to break engines, crack shields, disable guns. Alien ships drifted helpless. On the moon, Taewoo Choi sat in the cockpit of the lead hybrid ship. Ugly, patched, but fast. He pushed the throttle. The ship jumped. Hyperspace folded around it. Shadow Fleet, engage, he said. Dozens answered. Ships appeared from nowhere. They hit alien supply lines. Cut power to occupation bases. Freed prisoner camps. Back on Zorath Prime, chaos grew. Kazath tried to shout orders. His voice box failed. Armor locked tight. He fell to one knee. Thalara's crystals broke more. Pieces fell like glass rain. She reached out with her mind, found nothing. Human thoughts were gone from the damp fields. Instead, she felt sharp, clear rage, focused, waiting. Ji-ho Kim walked out of his house arrest building. The guards outside stood frozen. He took one spear from a Vexari hand, easy, like taking a toy. Ha-un waited for him at the gate. She carried a small bag. Inside were data chips, alien codes, weaknesses, plans. They walked together, no run, no panic, calm steps. People joined them, soldiers, workers, engineers, all the ones who waited a year. They carried tools, old rifles, new jammers, hybrid blades made from alien metal and human steel. They reached the main command tower downtown. The doors were open. Guards, inside, frozen. Ji-ho stepped in. Ha-un, beside him. He looked at the big screen. It still showed the hall on Zorath Prime. Kazath, on his knees. Thalara, dim. Ji-ho spoke into the open comm line. His voice went to every world, every ship, every feed. We never surrendered our will, he said. Only our patience. The words were simple, but they hit like thunder. On Earth, crowds cheered. Not forced, real, loud. In space, human ships pushed forward. Alien fleets broke apart. No mercy, no hate, just clean work. Back in the hall, Kazath looked up as Jiho's face filled every screen. How? Kazath hissed, his voice weak now. Jiho answered calm. You saw our rage. You thought that was all we had. But we have more. We have time. We have plans. And we have the joke we tell only at the end. Guards moved in. Not alien. Human. They took Kazath's arms. Gentle but firm. Chains clicked. Thalara tried to speak. Her voice cracked. This cannot be. Jiho looked at her. It is. The broadcast switched. Human flags rose on worlds. Ships flew free. People hugged in streets. Jiho turned to Haun. Send the order. Expel them. No more. No less. She nodded, tapped her pad. Across the galaxy, alien troops were marched to transports. No killing, no prisons. Just sent home. Broken. Humbled. On Zorath Prime the party ended. Lights went dark. Music stopped. Jiho stood on the platform where Kazath once stood. He looked at the empty hall. Then he allowed one small sound, a quiet chuckle. It echoed soft, but the galaxy heard it. The hall on Zorath Prime stood quiet now. The bright lights had dimmed. The music had stopped. Broken crystal pieces from Thalara lay on the floor like fallen stars. Vexari soldiers knelt in rows, their armor still locked. They could not rise. They could not fight. Jiho Kim walked to the center platform. His steps were slow and sure. Ha-Un Park walked beside him. Tae-Woo Choi followed close, carrying a simple rifle. Sumin Kang came next, her tablet in hand. Min Jae Lee arrived last, fresh from his ship. His face was dirty from asteroid dust, but his eyes shone. They stood together, 5 humans in a sea of stunned aliens. Kazath knelt before them. His crown had fallen. His red eyes looked small now. This cannot happen, he hissed. You were broken. You signed the papers. You bowed. Jiho looked down at him. His voice stayed calm. We signed to live another day. We bowed to buy time. You saw what you wanted to see. Thalara tried to stand. Her crystals cracked more. Light leaked out in weak pulses. Your minds. We read them. Nothing. Emptiness. How did you hide this? Ha-Un answered. We did not hide thoughts. We hid plans. We hid patience. You read fear. You read anger. You missed the rest. Min Jae stepped forward. He held up a small black disc. One of his stealth emitters. We built in the dark. Under your eyes. You laughed at our junk. You called it trash. We called it weapons. Tae-Woo pointed to the frozen soldiers. Your tech is strong, but it is not smart. We found the weak spots. We waited for the right moment. Sumin tapped her tablet. Screens around the hall came back to life. Not alien feeds, human feeds. Images of Earth cities rising, flags waving, people cheering in streets. Ships flying free. Alien transports leaving orbit. Empty except for their own crews. The galaxy watched. Not the victory party anymore. The reversal. Kazath lowered his head. Will you kill us? Take our worlds? Jiho shook his head. No, we do not want your stars. We want our own back. Go home. Stay there. Do not come again. Guards moved. Human guards. They helped the aliens stand, removed weapons, led them to waiting ships. No chains for show. No rough hands. Just firm, clear. Thalara looked at Jiho one last time. You could have fought from the start. Why wait? Jiho met her gaze. Because waiting hurt you more. You built monuments on our bones. You laughed loud. Now the laugh is ours. Quiet, but last. The aliens left Zorath Prime in silence. Ships lifted off one by one. No cheers, no threats, just departure. On Earth, the night sky cleared. Alien ships gone. Stars bright again. In Seoul, crowds filled every street. Lights came back on. Music played real music. Human music. People danced. Children ran free. No mine-damp fields. No patrols. Jiho returned to the old government house. Not as prisoner. As citizen. He stood on the balcony. Ha-un joined him. Tae-woo, Su-min, Min-jae stood too. Fireworks started. Colors filled the sky. Red, blue, gold. People shouted names. Jiho's name. Ha-un's. The others. Jiho watched. He did not smile big, just a small curve at his mouth. They celebrated, he said soft. Then humanity chuckled last. Ha-un looked at him. Was it worth the wait? Jiho thought for a moment. Yes, because we kept who we are. We did not become them. Down in the streets, Su-min met old friends. They hugged, they laughed. She told them about the basement nights, the hidden jammers, the codes. They listened with wide eyes. Tae-woo walked through the scrapyard he once worked in. The hybrid engines still sat there, ugly, patched, but they had won the war. He touched one. Good job, he whispered. Min-jae sat on a rooftop. He looked at the stars. His asteroid belt felt far now. We hid well, he said to the night. Days turned to weeks. Earth healed slow. Factories changed back. Schools opened. Ships flew for trade, not war. The galaxy changed too. Other species watched. They spoke quiet about humans. Do not push them, they said. They wait better than anyone. Newsfeeds replayed the surrender often, not to mock, to remember. The signing, the celebrations, the silence, then the chuckle. Jiho walked Seoul streets sometimes. People nodded, some bowed. He nodded back. Simple, no king, just a man who waited. One evening he sat in a small park, an old bench. Children played nearby. A boy ran up. Are you the admiral? Jiho smiled small. I was. The boy looked serious. Did it hurt to wait so long? Jiho thought. Yes, but waiting taught us something. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, patient, and when it speaks last. Ran back to his friends. Jiho looked up. Stars again. Clear. He allowed one more sound. A quiet chuckle. It carried on the wind. Not loud, but enough. Humanity had won. Not by hate, not by revenge, by being human. Stubborn, smart, patient. And when the time came, they chuckled last. The galaxy would remember that chuckle for a long time.